yeah, I feel like I had just reached like a breaking point. After 5 months of like, you know, adjusting to motherhood, it just all kind of like just hit me at once and I just broke down. And I honestly hadn't seen myself like that since I was in high school, like arguing with my parents because I wasn't feeling heard. I always struggled with feeling like my parents didn't take me serious. Like when I had like depression and anxiety and I couldn't focus in school and I would talk to them, they would just like kind of brush it off. So I always felt like they didn't take me serious. So when I started seeing that pattern in like relationships as an adult, especially like, you know, intimate relationships like my partner and stuff, it just really triggered something insane in my brain that just exploded. Like I erupted. I just kind of want to go over the things that I felt, you know, contributed to it. No one wants to feel like a burden. That was my thing. I don't want to go and talk to people and vent to them and tell them all my shit, because it's like, you have your own shit going on. We all are adults. We all made decisions, and this is like my decision. I had a baby. This is what happens when you have a baby, and you have to get through it just like every other person who has had a baby. But it doesn't invalidate any of the things that you're feeling, and you can talk about it and you can complain about it and you can not like it and still love your kid and love being a mom. So this whole stigma behind like, I can't believe you're complaining about being a mom. It's like, I can't believe you're not. I can't believe you're really bottling this shit in, because it's not fucking pleasant 24/7. I feel like a huge thing that contributed to this breakdown was trying to keep up with everything and like everyone, like trying to jump back into the normalcy of life way too fast. Like I just felt like I had to. I've always been the kind of person that's like, oh, you're not in that much pain, like you're not that sick, like you can still go to school, you can still go and do this, you can still clean, blah. It's like, give yourself a fucking break. Like me, I had an emergency C-section and I was like on bed rest for 6 weeks, and within the first like week and a half, I'm still like up and I'm still trying to do stuff, and everyone around me is telling me, they're like, what are you doing? And it's just like, it's just in my head where it's just like, get your ass up, like you're lazy. Like my brain has a problem with allowing myself to relax. Not even giving birth could make my brain feel like, hey, you deserve a break. You deserve a break. We'll get into that later. You want to get back to normal life. It's like, relax. You have time. But right after you have the baby, it's just like, it's a flush of hormones. I feel like every possible feeling ever just gets flushed through your entire brain and body. Body image. After you have a baby, one, you created a life. So first of all, if you're watching this and you had a baby and you're going through postpartum, congratulations to you, because you just did like one of the greatest things ever, and that shit's hard. And congratulations, because yeah, that shit, you deserve a fucking award for that shit. People love to downplay it as if it's just so fucking like regular. It's not. That's transformative. That's crazy. I just grew something and gave birth. Give me my fucking flowers, bitch. It is such a beautiful time. You're so precious during this period. And a lot of us still feel like body dysmorphic. A lot of us don't like our bodies. A lot of us struggle with the way that we look because we don't feel sexy. Like, let's keep it real. We don't feel sexy. We don't feel cute. We don't feel beautiful. We feel bloated. We feel big. We feel unattracted to our partners. It's just like all this stuff that's just in your mind. None of that matters. None of it should matter, but it does. Of course, after you have a baby, everything is deflated. Like your stomach is still big. There's no baby in there because you just gave birth. So you're just like, oh shit, like, this is gonna take a while to kind of get back to normal. Is it ever gonna get back to normal? Because I'm reading on Reddit that no one is ever snapping back to their pre-baby body. So it just sounds like I just fucked myself over forever. So yeah, there's a lot of discouraging stuff out there on the internet that you read and you're just kind of like, okay, damn, what did I just do? My pregnancy, I felt extremely beautiful during my pregnancy. Like I felt like I was glowing. I just felt like so like a flower. Like I was just in my prime. Like I felt so beautiful, and I loved it. Of course, there were my ups and downs, definitely, but I loved it. Afterwards, I would be lying if I were telling you that I loved my body after I had my baby. I was like, okay, this is gonna take some work. That's what I thought. Wasn't like dogging myself, but I just know that like, okay, yeah, you just had a baby, so you look like you just had a baby, and that's okay. You don't have to look like that person who has whatever genetic makeup that made her snap back 2 days after. Like, you know, we're different, and that's the thing. We always compare ourselves to everybody else's story. Mental health. I've always been an anxious person. I've always struggled with anxiety. Not struggled, I've always dealt with anxiety and depression, and having the baby definitely skyrocketed that up into fucking a million, like infinity and beyond. Like now I'm anxious about things that don't even exist. Like you have intrusive thoughts, you're constantly like, baby, like, and then it's like, it's just so many things. Like, I think about people too. It's like, who am I around? It's like, and then are you a good person? Are you a predator? And it's just like, I'm also just trying to be an individual and like take care of your own individual mental health, like what you were already dealing with before you had the baby, on top of the new shit with the baby. It's just shit on shit on shit. And then you have your relationship, like your relationship with your partner. That changes too, because you have a baby. You are changing, you're going through everything hormonally, like, you know, he's also going through postpartum. Guys go through postpartum too. I don't know if it's on the same scale as women. I know it's not on the same scale as women, but they go through their own version for sure, because it's an adjustment for them as well. They're becoming a father for the first time, or for whatever it is, like this is new. So you give them grace in that sense. I don't even know myself. That's like how you feel. So with the body image, it's like, yeah, like I've always struggled with my body image. I've always been someone that goes up and down in weight. So I knew like this is gonna be like a process coming back to me. Like I'm not gonna ever be me right after, but it sucks because, you know, you wanna enjoy this time with your baby. Like this is a brand new time. Like this is like the best time. And I am 100%, like don't get me wrong, but it's like these are also things that you deal with every day in the back of your mind. You're like, I want to be sexy again. Like, I want to be me again. I want to be, you know, outside. Like, my life is not over just because I had a baby. Like, I still have things I want to do. I still want to, you know, I'm still Kim. So it's like, I'm a mom and I'm Kim. You're also not just like the way your body looks, struggling with that. You're in pain. Like, for me, I had an emergency C-section. So I was dealing with being cut open, like on some saw shit, like, and you know, dealing with that healing, the pain from that is insane. It's crazy. And I'm someone who has a really high pain tolerance, okay? That itself took 2 months to feel any kind of normal, where I could just go on a walk type stuff. Then my wrist problem that I had, I kind of mentioned on my TikTok a little bit. I had mother's wrist where I couldn't like lift my baby up after a while, or like pick up things anymore because they were so inflamed. Like this was sticking out because it was so inflamed from being in that weird position, like that it shouldn't be in. Physically going through so much pain. Your nipples hurt, your nipples are chapped, your vagina hurts, it's sore. You're also dealing with like random things that are just happening to your body, and you're just kind of like, well, okay, was that supposed to come out of me? Like, you know, it's just a lot of shit like that. Imagine dealing with like the chronic pain that you're dealing with, and then also you have to like tend to people, like not just yourself in pain, but you have like a whole baby, and then you have, you know, a whole person that you're with that you're also like caring and loving for, and you're just like, fuck. So yeah, like I was saying, like the anxiety, I struggled with it in the past. The only thing that's ever triggered my anxiety was like being in my abusive relationship with my ex, and then the fights that I would get into with my parents with not being heard. So I think it all trickles down to me just not being heard. And that was that tip of the iceberg over this weekend that kind of just set me off. Was like, I just don't feel heard, and this is looking so much like every other like really bad, you know, relationship that I've been in, where it's like you're not listening to me, and I'm telling you these things, and I've told you these things so many different times, and it just kind of like, I just couldn't. And I'm someone who's so good at like keep playing it cool. Like, you guys, I'm really cool, like chill. I'm really fucking calm. But it just fucked me up. Okay. Also, you know, with being a stay-at-home mom, that's a full-time job. Like, a lot of people don't think that it's a full-time job, but it is, because you can't really do anything else besides just be with the baby, because, you know, you put the baby down, the baby cries, and then the baby wants to be soothed, and that takes about maybe an hour or two. Then the baby naps for like 30 minutes, and they're up again, and then we entertain. So it's just like, that is it, right? But then you also still have to make money. So it's like, you're thinking about money. You have to make money. I'm not talking like chunk change, like hundreds of dollars. Like, you need to pay rent, okay? You need to pay a car note. You need to pay like insurance. You gotta buy groceries. You gotta buy formula. You gotta buy bottles. You gotta buy a lot of stuff. So you need to have a really good income. And if you don't, it's gonna stress you out. If it's not consistent, it's gonna stress you out, feeling stagnant within like your career and stuff. Also, it's like you're at home with a baby. You see that your partner is still going to work because they still have to take care of the household, which is obviously appreciate it. But then I think a lot of moms feel like, well, when can I do that? Because I want to also work, because I also like have a brain, and I'm also valuable in that way too, and I can also contribute. Like, I can also pay bills too, but you need to understand also, like, the baby kind of needs you right now at home. And then you're also thinking, like, in your head, you're like, okay, so this always plays out like this in the movies, right? Where, you know, the mom stays home with the baby, the dad is working on his career, and he gets to achieve all his milestones and reach all his goals, and the mom has fuck all to show for it, you know? Like, she doesn't do anything that she wanted to do because she sacrificed for the baby. But you know what? Everybody just loves the mom for doing that and sacrificing her whole life for her baby, because that's just what you do, right? Wrong. Of course, you're dedicating your life to your baby, but you can still achieve all of those goals that you had before you had the baby. You just have to find that balance in order to do so, because I am a firm believer, and your life is not over when you have a baby. Like, a whole new life just started, and you just have to adjust, and you have to figure out how to still get things done with baby first, of course, but, like, you know, still keeping yourself a high priority, because if you're not okay and you're not happy, you're not going to have a happy baby. And the baby can sense everything. The baby is not dumb. The baby is also an extension of you and was living inside of you for 9 months, so the baby knows you. When you're not good, that baby is totally aware, and that's why you have to constantly work on yourself as a mom, because you want to be the best you for your baby. Back to the rest part, my brain, like I was thinking, it has this thing of telling me that there's always something that you could be doing, you know, like, there's really no rest. Like, you don't really deserve rest. Like, what did you do today to deserve rest? Like, why are you taking a nap? Why are you laying down? And so when I was writing this out, I questioned myself, I'm like, deserve rest? Like, humans require rest. Like, you need rest or you cannot run. Like, you cannot function as a human being, like, in a good way. Like, it's a computer. Like, you need to charge, or your phone, you have to charge it up. So, and I think I was running on fumes this weekend, because I have been getting up super early and, like, just burning myself out every day to fit everything in, and it is just not working. But nothing will go as planned, and that's okay. But you have to communicate with your partner or whoever that you have around you that is your support system, what your needs are, because they can't read your mind. As much as we think that our partners or our family members, like, are mind readers, like, they aren't. And you're gonna feel hurt that they don't read your mind. But really, you can take a step back and be like, did I tell them this? And if you did tell them that, then you can be hurt, because then it's like, you don't even care about what I'm saying. But communicate your needs and your wants and your expectations from them, and move from there, because if you don't, you're gonna be disappointed. You also need to figure out a balance where you have time for you outside of just resting. So just anything for yourself, like, even if that's just going and taking a 1 hour shower, like, just you, just so you can just clear your mind. Just start that way, and then it'll start being like, okay, I'm gonna go to Target by myself. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to lunch with my girls by myself. Like, okay, and you're not gonna feel guilty about it, because you deserve a break. Like, you are you. You're not just mom. Okay, that's one of many titles. Okay, what I did for my relationship after this fucking meltdown, I just said I need time for me during the day to, one, work, like, do work, have time to myself, like, work out on my body, and just clear my mind so that I can be present and be here for my baby, like, all day, and just be here with him, like, teaching him stuff, like, making sure he reaches milestones. I can't do that if I'm, like, everywhere else in my mind. So my schedule, this is what my schedule has turned into, and I never, ever, ever thought I was gonna be this kind of person, but I am. So I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning pretty much every day, because most of my classes that I take at this gym start at 6 or 6:15 or 6:30. So I'll take either hot Pilates or this, like, intensive, like, boot camp class every morning, and those are usually like an hour or 45 minutes. Then I'm at home by 8:30, so then I shower and I get ready for the day. I'll go and record content around 9, and then I'm done with recording around 11. Come back home because I record somewhere else, and then I just edit, and then I'm done with that pretty much by 12, and then I'm, like, uploading it, like, that same night. So I have 5 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon, because for the work that my partner does, he doesn't really need, like, that early in the morning. And if he ever does, like, he can just communicate to me, and then I'll just move everything around. That way, like, you know, he has the mornings with the baby, and then he can do all the work that he needs to do during those, like, regular day hours, and then I'm with the baby from 12 till whatever. Sometimes it's both of us there. It just depends on the schedule. We're both freelance, so just like 12 is when I like, I'm not gonna say like clock in, but it's not even like a set thing, but it's just like I just need like a certain amount of hours for myself every day. It doesn't have to be that, but it's just like that's kind of what I have now. But that's not how, okay, but realistically in relationships you have to be flexible and willing to compromise. So you have to work together. You kind of want to get yourself in a routine where you just need to have that routine because it'll help you center yourself. Like I didn't have any routine. I was sleeping super late, doing whatever every day, scrolling on my phone, not doing anything productive, like nothing. And I hated it and I hated myself and I felt it every day. So I had to get up and change it because if you have a routine, it'll help you stay organized, and then that also helps your mind stay organized because if you have a nice and clean space and organized space, it just helps you not have as many cluttered thoughts. I started journaling. Hate journaling, but here I am writing out all my feelings like Moesha. It is hard to get yourself to journal, but definitely try because that is what I think has gotten me down to being like committed to all these things because I see them and I write them out and I feel good when I write them out because I feel like there's more of a possibility for them to happen because I wrote it out. I don't know why, but that's just what I think. Manifestation is real. It also helps you stay accountable. So like if you wrote something, you're like, oh, I was gonna do this today, and you look and you're like, did you do that today? And she's like, no. And she's like, why didn't you do that? And it's like you have a bullshit excuse or a valid excuse. Also, therapy, antidepressants. Don't ever be ashamed to talk to somebody. Don't ever be ashamed to get a therapist. Don't ever be ashamed to get on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicine. There's a stigma around that, but they make such a huge difference. I'm telling you, like, I don't think I could. And if I'm a weak ass bitch for that, then fuck it, I am. But I don't know if I can handle this if I didn't have like, you know, my team of care professionals that helped me with all this because, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So definitely talk to your doctor about that. Therapy for sure, 100% needed because this is such a huge change. You need to talk to someone who is not biased and also who is professionally like skilled in postpartum stress, and then also just like family dynamic stuff. Like just talk to someone else. You need to just get it out. Like you need to vent to someone that's not your friend, your partner, your mom, your fucking Twitter. You need to get your ass to therapy. Just do it. One thing that makes all of this so much easier is having the right partner. A lot of people just feel like they don't have the right partner, and it makes it feel like this is so hard and that this is like the end of the world. And so unfair because after going through this, I feel like nobody should have to go through this alone because it is so hard. It's just really fucked up when there's not enough support there for the moms because as a mom myself, I know how it feels, and it's just, I don't think anyone deserves to feel that way. I don't care if you're my biggest enemy, you deserve support for this time in your life. Like you need it. You need a partner or a mom or somebody, like someone. So getting a sense of community is very important. Also just be accountable for the things that you say and do too. Postpartum is not an excuse for irrational behavior and erratic behavior and saying things that are hurtful to people. It's absolutely not an excuse. And things stick with people. People remember things. They're not gonna forget these things that you guys say in arguments and stuff, so you gotta be really careful about how you communicate. But just always be accountable and always do the work. So some of the work that I did outside of like my schedule and stuff, that kind of helped me figure things out was I started working out, which was like going on the walks in the neighborhood with my baby. I would go on like 2-hour walks just to keep my body moving. Then I got my gym membership back and I started going, taking classes every day, which is like my 1-hour thing that I do for myself because I just feel like I have control over that one thing in my life right now, like my body and like going to the gym. So that's what I do. Journaling, that's another one. Therapy, family, because it takes a village. Literally takes a village. Every time I'm in Atlanta, I am in the best mental state. I have the best mental health. I'm happy, I'm optimistic, I'm positive. I'm like, fuck yeah, nothing can get me down. And then when I come back here, I'm just like, yoga is so important, I think, for your healing process after having a baby because your body stores a lot of trauma in it. And I didn't believe in it until I went to a sound bath and breathwork class the other day, and I like broke down crying in the class doing the breathwork because they have you breathing in a specific way that you don't breathe normally. So first of all, I was like tingling and I felt like I was having an out of body experience. But just the work that she had you doing in the class, which was connecting with your inner child, which is what I had just been dealing with over the weekend. I felt like it was perfect for me to go because she had you just connect with your inner child, and it just helped me really figure out what was going on and what the problem was, and it just gave me a sense of clarity that I didn't have before. That's my postpartum journey, struggle, and advice for all of you out there that feel like you're going through it. This is temporary. Like, we're going to get through this shit. It's so hard, but we're here together, okay? We can start a Discord. We can have our own little community where we can vent and talk our shit. I was on this one Reddit and I was like, damn, like, this is really good that this exists, because reading these stories, I'm just like, holy shit. Not that I'm like, thank God I don't have that bad, but sometimes you kind of do need to see like, quiet. But always remember that a feeling is temporary, okay? How you react to that feeling holds more permanence, I think, than the actual feeling. So just be mindful and think about that and put in the work, because it's not easy and it takes dedication and practice. So this is a practice for the rest of your life. And if you can dedicate yourself to this practice, I feel like you'll have a very good life. So I wish you nothing but the best, and thank you for watching my postpartum video.